9 from the quiz. Question 9 says, express the following function in vertex form. In other words, you need to complete the square. Very first step to completing the square was we divide the first two terms by a. Since a is 1, it doesn't change anything. So we're left with x squared minus 10x plus 30. I then take that number, my negative 10, divided by 2 and square it. Oh, 33? Sorry. Okay. But still, everything else is still fine. Negative 10 divided by 2 is negative 5. Squared is 25. So inside the brackets, I'm going to add and subtract 25. And we know I got to bring negative 25 to the outside. So I'm left with x squared minus 10x plus 25. And then negative 25 plus 33. The brackets are a perfect square trinomial. So root of x squared is x. Root of 25 is 5. I bring down the negative, put the square. And I just have to equate the outside. Negative 25 plus 33 is positive 8. That's it. Now in vertex form. 9b. 9b says y is equal to negative 5x squared plus 20x minus 12. Many of you guys made an error on the first step. Remember, we have to divide the first two terms by that number right there. So, I take the negative 5 out. This becomes x squared. When I divide positive 20x by negative 5, I get negative 4x. Many of you either forgot to divide by the 5 or you didn't change the sign. Minus 12. I take that negative 4, divide by 2, and square it. Comes negative 2 squared. 4. So inside the brackets, I'm now going to add and subtract 4. Remember, I got to take negative 4 outside. And when I do that, I have to multiply by the first term. So inside of my brackets, when I bring negative 4 times negative 5, it becomes positive 20. Our brackets are a perfect square trinomial. Make sure you guys, this is where many of you made your mistake, you forget to bring the negative sign down. If the second term has a negative in front of it, bring the negative term down. Okay? And that's it. Negative 5, bracket x minus 2 squared plus 8. Those are your two answers for the quiz. So that's the entire quiz taken up. I'm going to start some review questions now. All right, gentlemen. First question I'm going to take up is number 13 in your review. It's on text page 317. Please pay close attention because word problems are a part of this test and they can be difficult to set up. So, very first thing they've told us is we have a rectangular garden and we know that it measures 5 meters by 7 meters. Okay? Both dimensions are be extended by the exact same amount. So we know these are going to extend now. The length and the width are going to extend by the same amount, which means we're going to have a new rectangle. It's going to be roughly that size. So, what will this new distance be? We're going to call, the extension, we're going to call that amount x. Okay? We'll call that x, and because they're the same amount, we can call them the same variable. We'll call that x. So how long is this new width? 5 plus x. And our new length is going to be 7 plus x. Okay? Now the question wants to know how much they should increase how much they should increase each side by to the nearest 10th. Okay, well, what I can do is I'm going to have to make a quadratic expression because I want to factor it to solve for the x's. So what I'm going to do is I'm going to find the area of this new garden. What would the area of this garden be? First of all, area is length times width. So what's our new length? 7 plus x. And our new width? 5 plus x. Okay? So let's take a look at that. That's very nice. They've given me that. Now, I need to solve. So let's FOIL it. It's going to give us our quadratic expression, a quadratic equation. So when I FOIL this, I'm going to get x squared plus 12x plus 35. I'll do it on the outside if you guys want to see. But I expect you to know how to FOIL by now. 7 times 5 is 35. 7x, 7 times the x. X times 5, 5x. X times x, x squared. 7x plus 5x is 12x. I'm going to bring this x squared to the front. And 35. And boom. Got the exact same thing. Okay? That's how I FOILed that. So now that I've done this, I need to figure out what my x's are going to be. How do I solve for x? Anyone know? Okay, I'm going to quickly let you know, if I factor this, all that's going to happen is I'm going to end up right back here. Okay? I'm going to be working backwards. Once I FOILed and then I factor, well, those are the opposites of each other. I'm going to be stuck there. So let's try to add some new information to this. I know the original area was 35, 7 times 5 meters squared. And that means our new area, okay, our new area, we have to essentially add in our x's with it. So our new area, 35, and we had to add in, what would our, if you guys want to think of our new area, we got to put this much extra on top. I got to add this to it and this to it. Can I find the area of these two things? One of the new areas is going to be what? One of the new areas is going to be x, 7 times x. So I'm going to be adding the old area, 35 plus 7 times x. And one of the other areas I'm going to add to it, 5 times x. So I know I have 5 times x. So my new area, I'm just going to simplify this, is going to be, anyone know? 12x plus 35. So here's our new area. Our new area is our 12x plus 35. So we can substitute that in for our new area. You know what? Hold on. This doesn't make... So guys, I made a rather large error actually. All this stuff I did down here to try to figure out what the new area was going to be, they actually told us the new area. What did they say the new area had to be, guys? Needed to be doubled. Sorry. I wasn't sure where you were getting that number. Clearly I didn't read it properly. So if our old area was 35, and they need to double it, we multiply by 2. So 70 is our new area, and the equation to our new area was our x squared plus 12x plus 35. Let's bring that 70 over so that this is set equal to 0. Sure we can. When I bring the 70 over, becomes negative. So I have 0, x squared plus 12x minus 35. Now let's factor this and solve for our x's. So 0 is equal to, it's going to be, let's find the factors of this. I may have to use quadratic equation. 1 and 1, 1 and 35, 5 and 7 work. Here we go. No. It'll be a little different now. It's got to make positive. So that won't work. So we can't factor it this way. So what do I use to factor, guys? Quadratic equation. Sorry, formula. Simeon's right. It is formula. You can just find use quadratic formula right off the bat if you like. No, because it needs to be negative 35. So 5 and 7 won't add up. One of these being negative won't give us positive 20. Positive 12. Wow, I'm way off. Anyways, let's plug our numbers in. So my B value is 12. Our A is 1. And our C is negative 35. We've plugged it in the quadratic equation. Let's solve. Sorry we did such a roundabout way earlier. Plus or minus 144. What is 4 times 35? 140? Negative 12 plus or minus the root of 284. Does anyone have that? The root of 284 for me? Perfect. Okay. So we're going to split this up now. This is the important part. I have negative 12 plus 16.85 divided by 2. And I have negative 12 minus 16.85 divided by 2. This is going to give us 4.85 divided by 2. What is that going to be, Duke? $2.425. And our other one, it's going to give us negative 28.85 divided by 2. Okay, what do we got for time? All right, listen up, guys. Here's the very important part. We have two answers. I have negative 14 and positive 2. Let's talk about negative 14. Can I add negative 14 of something to a fence? Can I make a fence negative 14 longer? No. In other words, if I was to make 7 meters negative 14 longer, I'd have negative 7 meters, and I'd also have negative 9 meters of fencing. That makes no sense. So what that means is this one is an illogical answer. So we take it out. I can add 2.4. What do they want us to round it to? Nearest 10? I can add 2.4 meters to something. Right? That's going to give me 7.4 and 9.4 for our new fence. So let's quickly get up our new fence. We know that our original was 7, and we're going to be adding 2.4, and we had 5 plus 2.4. So our new dimensions are going to be 9.4 meters of fence and 7.4 meters of fence. Does that make sense to you guys? If it asks us for the area, we would just multiply the 2. I'm sorry about that roundabout way. I didn't realize they said to double the area.